Hello everyone. Hope you are all doing good and fine. Okay. This is Vijay, assistant professor in the Department of Civil Engineering. I'm in the field for almost for the past 8 years, and previously I have a few work experiences on field, especially in the civil construction field. Okay. So today's discussion is all about how to craft a successful engineering career. This is especially focused on freshers who newly joined to the college and people who are even in the pre-final year, or some opinions might be taken by the final year students as well. Okay, so how to successfully craft a very good engineering career? So you may ask yourself a set of questions. Okay, for what is the goal in your life and why did you join engineering? Okay, so whenever even in the first year, while I take some of the basic courses for the students, when I ask them, so what are the main reasons for joining engineering? They will say that my parents wanted me to be an engineer, and I just tried to opt for medical courses. I could not get the seat, and that's why I entered engineering. And some say my father just wanted to get a degree to manage his business, and I wanted to join a big company. I wanted to initiate a startup, and some talk about money, status, and a few talk about the curiosity, challenges, and excitement that this course, specifically engineering, is going to give you. Okay, and so for those kind of students, whether you whatever the reasons I listed out, okay, and apart from that, if you have any other reasons also, no issues. So whatever it is, how do you define success? Say, I will tell you that you cannot define success with a particular method. So what seems to be a success for you may not be a great success for another person. For example, one will always anticipate that I wanted to earn lakhs of money, whereas for another person, building a strong relationship, and that is what he means success. So success and happiness always depends upon your attitude and your satisfaction in life. That's very important. Okay, how do you define actually? Sometimes when we are, as a teacher, when we were more curious to get answers from the students, we ask them, do you want to get rich, or do you just want to get a job with a decent pay, or do you want to change the world? So changing the world seems to be a larger vision, right? But you may go to 10 to 20 years without answering this question, but eventually you have to. So that stage of defining from here where you want to be in the next 4 to 5 years. So these steps, this visualization is very important, not only in engineering. For any job you do, you take a startup, or you work for any other firms, or you work with the content creators, wherever you go, this is very important. So you have to define what is success for you and what is happiness for you. These two definitions are very important to get it done, and set yourself success according to your own metrics from the start of any course or any work. That's again very important, students. And as I said, there is no one formula for success, right? So engineering is actually a field that requires many people with different skills to work together to solve complex problems. That's very important. Okay, so you require more skills. Okay, as you know, in engineering, we always stress students to make themselves more strong in fundamentals. Of course, fundamentals are the pillars of your engineering career. So with good fundamentals, you can specialize in any of a good topic. As you all might aware that, like best engineering problems, there is no any single algorithm that has to be followed to get or to taste the success. You have to write up your own algorithm for your success in your career or even in your life. That's very important. And there are certain things to be avoided. You need not to make all the mistakes by yourself. You can learn from others. So what's the path that could be followed to reach the success? Okay, so the path and whatever the trails that others left out is depends upon their experiences and their preferences in life, whereas you have your own preferences, right? And moreover, you have your own definition of success. So that's very important in engineering career. Okay, and as I said, that depends upon their preferences and their attitude, whereas you can take that as your case study and you can proceed with your own preferences. So that is very important. There is, as I said, there is no any single algorithm, right? So you have to get started. So what you are passionate about, you do that. More competence will never trump the real passion. Okay, so your answers will change with respect to time. So that is another important thing. So whatever you learn or whatever you understand now with respect to the current situation that you are facing or current experiences you are having may change with respect to time. So as far as you move on, you should have such understanding that results in a learning from a particular situation, right? So that is very important. Just do outstanding work, no matter the task or no matter what you face. Just do the outstanding work. And which job to take? People used to really ask these questions, especially pre-final year students will have this much doubts. It depends upon the placement in their colleges and all. Okay, so look 20 years out and place your career as a bet. Which technology or business domains are most powerful and promising? You take biotech or computer science, okay, or civil engineering, triple mechanical, whatever the field it may be. So what is the most promising or upcoming technology is there in the field? You take civil engineering or structural, you have prefabricated structures, you have different types of pre-stressed structural members, and currently India is more focusing on green building concepts. So how you can improve your knowledge in auditing of green buildings? You take computer science, you have cyber security specialized courses, you have big data analytics, okay, and you need not to worry that you select a different course in generic, okay, so no problem. You can continue with your electives or even with your master's program. So that is going to definitely more promising. Or some students do prepare in startups and big companies also. They do have certain dilemmas. Sir, after the course, whether I should join a startup or a big company. Okay, so it entirely depends upon you. Okay, so within the startup, you have more time and more energy and less to lose. Okay, but sometimes, I mean it. Okay, sometimes the startups may fail, but because of their high volatility due to their startup nature. Okay, since you wanted to gain more experiences and more knowledges and extraordinary work that you can put up, so that will definitely help you in the startup. Whereas if you're going for joining a big company, so and any MNCs, they have much more opportunities to change world incrementally. Whereas in the startup, you are going to monitor the entire thing. So whether it's technology, whether it's administration, so whether it's customer service, whatever it is, you are going to put up your leg in every bit of this. Whereas in a well-established company, you will be assigned with certain tasks. So in such tasks, you can master yourself and you can develop your career to a greater level. Okay, it does not matter whether it's small company or large company. Each and every component or element have their own set of learning. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, so I usually advise students, after your final viva voice in your or final exams of your final semester, get hired. Go ahead, get hired, whether it's small company or a startup or a large industry, doesn't matter. Okay, you go ahead and put up yourself and get it engaged. Okay, so you search for a company. Suppose if you wanted to join a big firm or a startup, okay, so you have to weigh certain factors. Do you believe in the mission and vision of the company? How outstanding the team is? Okay, so who is the CEO, CFO, COO? So all these details are there in the company. You search about their history. So this is how exactly you have to do. Whereas in recent times, after the IT has emerged in India, people have started just wanted to see the final package. So that final package alone is not going to give a very good success or happiness in your life. Okay, so these principles. Okay, so for example, so what I have listed, and you should also see how well the company is running. So what about its financial status and all? So would this position, the position in which you are getting hired, would this position leverage your strengths yet demand intellectual growth? Okay, so the intellectual growth is very important in a firm that you are joining, and you should also be considered about, suppose if you are much more concerned about connecting with people, so you should also check out with the geographical diversity, the culture and educational opportunities. And I would say continuous learning is important anywhere in your career. That is very much more important, right? So always don't stop just with your BTech. Okay, so whether it's if you're BE or BTech, just throw away the thought that this 4 years of course I have learned everything and that's enough for me so that I can settle in a job. No companies will accept that. You can get a good pay, okay, but over a period of time you are outdated. Do remember that. So as the growth approaches, as you are growing, as your experience is increasing, so you have to put up in which technology the company is investing and what is the next role that company is about to jump. So that technology you have to learn. So that continuous learning is very important wherever you go, in whichever company you work. So that's again another important task. So plan on for next 2 to 3 years you get really comfortable and more productive. So with that 2 to 3 years you can actually gain more knowledge. So from whatever you learn in academia, so you're going to put up in industry. So how well that can be transformed. That is not only the transformation with reference to your skills, it is also a transformation for your experience. Work as hard, as smart as you can. You are setting your own reputation and trajectory. That is going to get reflected. You imagine yourself that you are the main key person for your project. You put up your hard work and build up your own reputation. So the company should start believing that you are very good at it and your reputation speaks. So that result oriented job profiling and learning is very important wherever you get hired. Okay, find a right mentors and role models. Okay, don't struggle in silence. Okay, so people usually go, and some people I see they will hesitate to get their doubts clear. Okay, so raise as many as questions during the team meetings, and always have yourself a mentor or role model. That is very important. And whatever you do, it's a team, remember. Okay, so the major project that you are working in your academic curriculum, so you will be assigned with 3 to 4 people. That's the main key there is to work as a team. So that is very important. Okay, so in company also you will be working as a team, and don't let your team down. That's very important. Okay, so know when to stand ground versus which battles are not worth fighting. Okay, so that's important. So you should classify so how well you have to stand on ground, and there are certain battles. Okay, so those battles where if you feel that it's not worth fighting, leave it, go ahead and perform your work, continue with your work. Okay, so what I'm supposed to say is, go ahead, try to prove yourself with your outstanding skills and build up your own reputation. Your own reputation matters a lot. As you build your reputation, your portfolio automatically gets built up. That's very important.